Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching The Midnight Club, Season 1, Episode 2.
The two Danas.
American Horror Stories could
Never!
never.
I love that you said that.
Why?
I wasn't even thinking that, but you're so right. It's
This
good.
is 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I like it a lot.
I was surprised and impressed with like how compelled I was.
Yeah.
Going straight to the 2 Danas. It was Anya's story. It seems that the stories are all somewhat autobiographical.
Well, hers was.
Well,
so far.
So was the first one Alanka told. I mean, I guess not auto, but it was based on a real.
Sure.
They're in their stories. The
Yeah.
actors are like playing the characters in their stories. It was really interesting. It was a Faustian bargain. She was an overachieving ballerina type who wanted to learn how to cut loose. And so she made a deal with the devil to split herself into 2.
Mhm.
And one would go out and have fun and the other one would be good and do all the right stuff. The kink in their plan was that they both can feel it.
Everything, yeah.
So the one going out and having fun is hurting this one.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a particularly brilliant metaphor for substance use.
Oh, yeah.
Especially considering I've never seen it done before. That's not to say it hasn't been done. I just haven't seen it. I really love the commentary that everything fun, wild, and crazy you does has ramifications for healthy, good you.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that was really interesting. And I also kind of liked that over time they sort of lost sight of which one was which.
Yeah. That part was really interesting.
A very interesting double role from Dr. Spence or Dr. Stanton, Heather Langenkamp as the devil. Loved.
I loved that as well. That was very
That's
cool.
up, speaking of American Horror Story, that's up there with Frances Conroy as the Angel of Death from Asylum.
Yeah.
And I love that she was so beautiful and so coiffed, but then covered in tattoos and like old sailor.
Like I kind of it was like kind of gnarly tattoos. Yeah,
that was really wild. Mike Flanagan has a handful of signature staples, and one of the ones that I is a signature and I love is the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He does things with eyes, and when the devil
red,
ooh, Gerald's game. But yeah, no, the her coming out with the like red eyes and then them going normal and
whatever the fuck was in the bathroom that Anya saw, the shadow.
I still can't place what's happening because now it's like, so whatever that shadow thing is, we've tied it to the devil. So does that mean, for me at least, analytically,
demons?
Does that mean that it is a demon or a devil, or did it just inspire that facet of Anya's story?
Interesting.
Because if this is about them telling stories, then I have to imagine that the craft of storytelling is a trope, is an element that the show is going to be exploring. I'm also not entirely sure how, by shooting herself, she lost her leg.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that was just tying in the Anya of it. Okay. To which it's Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
She was, or is it Sandra?
Sandra! Were you guys calling me?
She was like, thank you for opening up. It was so nice.
God bless her. And she passed, at least thus far, she has passed the ever so crucial gay panic test.
She passed that. She is doing the she's doing the, what were we watching where there was a Christian character kind of like this?
Superstore.
Was it Superstore?
Where they come, well.
No. Not about gay stuff specifically. We were watching something very recent. Oh, Yellow Jackets with the Jesus character. And you were like, but the thing is like, she's being sweet about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Yeah, that. No, but I mean, I love that this brand of Christianity that gets represented in TV where they just don't even acknowledge the piousness or like the goodies, whatever. Yeah. They just sort of ignore the hateful component.
Yeah.
And because it was Glenn on Superstore where it's like the thought of being homophobic hadn't even occurred to him. It was almost like he had just never even met the concept of gay people. Not that it had been ingrained in him negatively.
Sure.
And so I was very curious because it was done, I guess, moving out of the 2 Danas. We'll come back to it if we think of something. masterfully done that scene.
Yeah.
Because we have, is it Spencer?
Yes. Yeah.
He is cutting paper. Are they called something?
It's a paper cutter.
I'm traumatized from that because I had a handsome art teacher assistant. It was Miss Fair's art assistant, and just took his finger clean off. And I can't remember it. I just can remember the trauma connected to it.
I don't fuck with those things. Like, a couple of jobs I've had have tried to be like, could you paper cut these flyers for me? And I've been like, I sure can't. Sorry.
And so we open with that whoomp,
yeah.
And then it's just there for the entire scene. I cannot tell you a thing they talked about in that scene because not a one of us was looking at the screen.
Well, they were doing paper cranes because is it a mesh?
No. Well, a mesh.
He wants to make 1,000 paper cranes because there's like a Japanese legend that if you make 1,000 paper cranes, you get granted a wish, essentially. Mm-hmm. But he's also like outsourcing it. So they're like all making paper cranes. Like,
they just said they had to be made.
I don't know if that counts.
But yeah, so, and then he did cut himself. And
he didn't cut anything off, but he did like slice his finger.
But it was really remarkable because as an audience member, the characters weren't behaving the way we anticipated. I mean, they were alarmed, but we were like, why is this weird? And you guys
because nobody rushed to help him, which I think they've been told not to.
Yes, but they were also they were so reassuring. Like he had, like they were trying, like he had committed a faux pas.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this so weird? You guys got there. And then the 90s of it all.
There's no other reason why he should be so, I mean, unless you could get an infection if your like immune system is low from cancer as well. But I just was like, I'll bet it's AIDS. And then I think that maybe it's Mark.
I don't think he is. I think he's doing too much. I think he's
So then do we think Spencer is gay?
Yeah.
Spencer's gay. But Mark was like,
that's why Mark is like
over the top talking about how hot Antonio Banderas is in Interview with the Vampire.
That was my read as the gay person is when the straight person wants to make sure they're trying to put you at ease. And it's like, I'm at ease. You're pandering.
He was not at ease, though.
No, I know, but
I think the pandering was helping in this scenario.
I think he was tired of it because he was like, every time you try and tell me, and I just get the sense that that's Mark's one connection to gayness.
Interview with the Vampire,
the movie of Interview with the Vampire, which, let's be honest, is very gay coded.
Yes,
but not as much as the books. And
the show is fucking gay bones.
It's on the list.
It's so gay bones. It's amazing.
We are up to here.
We are so up to here with content. There's a lot of things that we intend to do.
Head above water. But no, that was my take. I mean, I'll take it back when I'm sure we'll get more.
I love too that he was like, sure, Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, but it's Antonio Banderas. That's the hot one. I was like, all right.
I can't place this fucking house.
No, there's a lot happening. Because also then Ilanka saw another creepy.
I think it's the same one,
but
from that wing. If I were her, I would avoid that.
That area.
Well, because it also went. So she's still looking for information about Julia James.
Jane.
Julia Jane.
Yeah.
And Dr. Stanton was real.
Dr. Stanton shit on the coats.
she was, I can't think of the word I want to use, but she was real like cagey.
Yeah.
There you go. She was real squirrely when it came.
I've never heard tell of a woman named Julia Jane.
And I was like, oh yes, I remember her. Never heard of her again.
Yeah. And also then she was like, what about a cult that used to use this house? And she was like,
my, it's time for you to go to bed.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
So anyways, Ilanka was trying to break into the office to find that paperwork. And in a adorable scene with Kevin, there's something somewhere. Someone's already dead, and we don't know it. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Absolutely.
We need to go back and I don't know.
Yeah.
But Kevin shows up, and another wonderfully endearing plot, character, tone informing moment. Is when he's like, "Oh, I know how to break in," and he's like, "Dr. Stanton trusts us. It's not even locked."
And it wasn't. Loved it.
But when Ilanka was fleeing that, it turned into an old-timey movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much of that was production for the audience's sake or what Ilonka herself was like
I think she was seeing that. Yeah. Oh, and she touched the painting and there was spiders everywhere.
Yeah, and the woman is hungry.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Starving.
Yeah. Don't like that. Earlier on, she was out in the... They had a group therapy session.
Yeah.
Did much come from that?
Not like a ton.
Jesus, so much happened in this episode because the tea was this episode.
Yeah, Anya is predictably angry, but also like, I feel like be angry, but like don't yuck someone else's yum. And she's very like, oh, are you drinking tea? Oh, are there antioxidants in it? Ooh. And so she's being a real cunt about it. But I did sort of appreciate that Ilonka was like, you know what? I don't need you to do it. Like, just leave me alone. But she also found a locket that belonged to Rachel.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. Is Anya is liking Anya in character for me?
Okay,
I would be annoyed by her in ways that I'm like there on her side.
I'm a little shocked you're not annoyed by her because it's like even
because she's been through this and that's got to be exhausting.
I mean, I get it. I definitely get that, but it's like most of the rest of them have been through it too, and that she's like a real bitter Betty about it.
Handling it with much more grace.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like there's got to be something else in there, but I'm not saying it was like 100% autobiographical, but I was a little bit right about her being the ballerina. Mm-hmm. So
we also got another nugget from Queen Sherry.
Oh my God.
Her parents are maybe actors.
At least her mom.
One was a TV and one was a movie.
Yeah, actor. Okay, yeah.
And she has a macaw that sounds like Richard Dean Stanton and Anderson and 3 or 4 Portuguese water puppies.
Well, there were 4 puppies and one of them died, so now there are 3 dogs.
And she had even Anya vexed. Anya's like, okay, this one I couldn't tell you. She's my favorite.
I also, when they were doing the paper cranes, they were like, how come she's not helping? And she was like, I'm creating ambiance because she was playing her cello. It was amazing. Incredible.
I never knew growing up, because I was always so motivated by the pursuit of beauty.
Yeah.
I never realized how responsive I was to just weird.
Yeah.
Like just somebody being a total weirdo. Yeah. I'm like there.
That's it. You're the one.
So Ilonka went on a hike in a beautiful forest.
Yeah.
We got Samantha Sloyan's Shasta.
Yeah.
I am trying so hard to be on her team. I think Samantha Sloyan she's such incredible, a good actor. And I think she's suffering currently from that thing where someone is so good as such a heinous, truly despicable, utterly irredeemable character that I'm having a hard time not just like spitting when I see her, just like hissing.
Sure, because the like sister or whatever she was, Bev, that's what Sister Bev from Midnight Mass was fucking just unacceptable.
I mean, I stand Queen Cersei,
and
I cannot abide.
So there is something that feels shifty about her, and I made the joke where we were watching it. I was like, Shasta's been dead for 40 years.
You called Julia Jane.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Well, Rachel said it, but I was like, it could be. They're both redheads.
She might be Julia Jane because she was real. She's very, and some of it is Samantha, but she's just very knowing. Mm-hmm. It's like, what aren't you telling me?
Yeah.
Because she was good in Hill House, and she also has a small but good role in Hush.
Okay.
Which I would love to watch with you guys, but I don't know that you would. You would. I don't know that Rachel would.
Okay.
It's like a home invasion.
Oh,
movie.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's my Flanagan.
But she's deaf. Kate Siegel's deaf. Yeah.
But it's like it's like home invasion by way of Promising Young Woman. Like I like the commentary on the male versus the female experience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men who watch the movie don't get it. They're like, this is dumb. Yeah. And a lot of women are like, this is my nightmare. And so I'm so curious. I want you guys to watch it, but let us know. You can bully us into it. If this video gets 100 likes, we'll do it. We'll watch it.
Yeah, but basically, I don't know, Samantha Sloyan or Shasta and Ilonka had like a really fun talk where she was very like, oh, your name means light, and like, you know, my name is Sanskrit and yours is Greek, and like
we threw down Helen of Troy, like we covered
and she also
tropey ground.
She was also gathering water, and this is not the first indication we've gotten that Dr. Stanton is like perhaps quick to anger. Because she was like, she doesn't like it when outsiders are like on the land. So she lives just off the border, but she comes to get water from the spring because it is like.
And we did a whole like.
A healing vortex or something.
Pocahontas. Can you ever hear the wolf cry to a blue corn moon?
Yeah.
Where she was just sort of like, but I mean, you can't. The water didn't originate here. Yeah. So is it really this part of the land?
Sure.
And it was interesting. Again, weird. She was being weird.
Definitely weird.
It feels like it means something.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
That for this one?
She brought chamomile tea for everybody. Because then also she told her there was like really good chamomile just up the way. Yeah, I don't know. It's good. I'm liking it. I think it's not going to be quite as like deep or lush as the previous, but I'm having a really fun time with it.
I'm having a good time. My expectations are so managed. And like I said, the fact that I know so little about it and other than the faith in Mike Flanagan, I have nothing riding on it, is allowing me to just be along for the ride.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rare these days. I mean, we put so much on because we do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's not often that I feel completely immersed and engaged at the same time.
Yeah, agreed.
In ways that I'm not then stressing about, like, oh, am I going to regurgitate this in 10 minutes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always tell from my energy when I'm, like, really enjoying something, but yeah, I'm in. So, okay, we're going to watch episode 3.
Bye.